Previously on Eric Strebel's Design and Making channel.
My name is Eric Strebel. I'm an industrial designer. Welcome to my channel about product design and making. Here are a few tools that are useful for advanced wood model making. A metal right-angled square and a metal ruler. X-Acto blades, a good saw, some tape, some super glue, and some wood glue. This video series assumes you don't have access to a laser cutter. Let's start with some basic steam bending. This practice started in the 1840s, uses water and steam to soften the fibers in the wood to make it pliable so that you can form it to whatever you want, more or less. There are always limitations with any process, and steam bending is no different. Hardwoods tend to steam bend a little bit better than softwoods. Here, I'm using a simple piece of maple, twisting it with my hands, holding it until the fibers cool down, and I've steam bent this piece of wood. Let's try something a little bit more advanced and make a mold. This mold will allow us to get more precise final results. We'll steam bend this piece of basswood because it's what you're likely to find at your local hobby store when you're doing this type of modeling. Tempered hardwoods such as ash, oak, chestnut, walnut, cherry, beech, sycamore, or elm are more optimal and will give you better end results. Let's see how this turns out. You'll see when I loosen the clamps that you'll get a little bit of spring back. With some of these tempered hardwoods, you'll get almost no spring back, but this isn't too bad and certainly good enough for model making. Let's steam up a piece of this maple and see the results that we get inside the same form. If you're using a mold, accuracy and repeatability are probably your goals as you're trying to reproduce the same part continuously and consistently. This isn't too bad. The process of glue lamination sounds exactly like what you think it is. Back in the 1860s, they started laminating sheets of wood together. As a matter of fact, in 1868, the first patent was issued for plywood. Essentially, that's what we're making. And I'm going to use some scraps of veneer that I got from a local furniture maker. This is perfect for this type of model making. The thickness of the veneer is great for scale and to show details. I'm going to cut up these pieces and I'm going to alternate the grain perpendicular to each other in between the different layers so I can get some good strength. And we're going to sandwich this inside of a wooden mold with glue in between each of the layers to create a custom shape. You want to be careful when you're cutting through the veneers here at the end of each stroke so that you don't get any tear out on the wood. It's quite delicate. Now that the wood's had a chance to dry overnight, let's take the clamps off our molds and see what we get. results are impressive. This S-curved sheet of plywood, and this simple C-curved sheet of plywood, and then here a standard sheet of flat plywood. Let's see if we can make something with this stuff. As I do with just about any other design project, I start with some simple design sketches to try to figure out what I can make with this stuff. Let's just make a simple standard 2-inch cube that's open on the ends to show off the plywood. Let's start with a simple rip cut on my bandsaw along a fence so I can get my parts nice and straight. Now that I've cut the parts straight and square, I can cut them to the right size and start to assemble my cube from my sketch. Let's use some blue painter's tape to line the parts up so they're straight and square. Glue them together with some cyanoacrylate, just like we learned in the basics video. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you go back and watch that so you can understand how I do my model making with super glue. Let's take off the blue tape and see what we have. Ah, very nice. Let's lay out the final curved piece, mark it with a pencil, and then we'll cut this on the bandsaw so that we can place it inside the cube. The super glue sets up so quick and fast that you want to glue one side at a time. Get it to the right place, hold it, and then glue the back side to fill in any gap. Now, let's go to the other side, tweak our cube, glue on the back side, and it's all together. We want to sand everything flat so we can see the nice layers from the lamination. We want to showcase this process that we've gone through and show all the beautiful layers of the wood and celebrate the wood. Let's apply a little bit of polyurethane clear coat to really show it off. I think that the nice S-curved piece of plywood would lend itself to a nice little bench. So let's concept sketch up a little curved wooden laminated bench. Drill some holes in it, again to show off the plywood, and let's build this thing. I'm going to build the legs out of basswood. This will be a nice contrast to all the texture and the detail of the wood grain in the seated bench part of the model. Use double-sided sticky tape to stick your two parts together, and then you can finish them and both pieces will be the same. use the old marker trick from the basics video to add some gray to the legs. This will allow the user's eye to focus on the star of the show, and that's the top part of the bench. Super glue the top, and the model is almost finished. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Make sure to hit the bell so you get notifications every time I have a new video. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Links in the description below and on the channel page. Rock on. Don't forget to check out the t-shirts and hoodies in the merch shelf below. Click here to check out some of the other design and making videos that I have that you might enjoy.